I like to dedicate this to all of the Creator's righteous children. I have some food in my bag for you. Not that edible food, that food you eat. No, I have some food for thought. Since knowledge is infinite, it has infinitely fell on me.
Peace, YouTube. Welcome back to my channel. Today I am in New Orleans on vacation. I am chilling in my bed. It's like 7 in the morning. And I'm just soaking in all the culture and everything. But I had to come on here and I had to talk about this because based on the last video that I made on this channel about Michael Jackson, I had to talk about the passing of Joe Jackson. So, Joe Jackson passed away 2 days after the death anniversary, the 8th or 9th death anniversary of Michael. And I have extremely mixed feelings about all of this. Michael hated his father. Most of the Jackson kids hated Joe Jackson. And I understand why completely. I was not a big fan of Joe Jackson because of the way that he mentally manipulated and basically just hurt Michael and Janet and all of the Jackson kids so bad to the point where they all have mental issues to this day because of it. And if you go back and watch my video I did on Michael Jackson, you know, I talked about how all the Jackson kids need therapy because of him. Because he was just so mentally and physically abusive to them to the point where, I mean, yes, he pushed them physically very, very hard to the point where it was child abuse, basically. But we did get stars out of a lot of the Jackson, kids. We got the Jackson 5 because of it. We got Michael because of it. We got Janet because of it. But at what cost? You know what I mean? And it's just really sad to see that a lot of the media is spinning the fact that Joe Jackson died. I mean, it's sad. Joe Jackson died. I'm not going to, take that away from the Jackson family. They can feel however they want. That was their dad. That was their grandfather. That was their uncle. There was whoever. But at the same exact time, he was an abuser. And I don't want the media to be spinning this story of him passing in a positive light, trying to just push off the fact that he abused all of the kids, because Michael in his 2002 or 2003, one of those interviews during that time, talked heavily about the physical abuse that Joe would inflict on him. And, it was almost to the point of him reliving it and almost, crying about it because it was so hard for him to deal with. And so, I just don't think that us as a society should be praising this man. Yes, it is sad that he passed away. Yes, he did give us Michael and Janet and the Jackson 5. But let's not act like he was this saintly person who was just giving Michael and them a tap on the butt. It wasn't like that. He was physically abusive. Michael said that, if they stepped out of line and they didn't complete their training or whatever, he had a belt. Michael said that his father would have a belt in his hand and basically he would threaten them with it. And that's child abuse. Like, don't play with my life. Like, yeah, I know there are black people out there and people in general out there who still spank their children and, use the belt as an intimidation force. But that's just not in my nature. I don't think that's the right way of disciplining your kids, and that actually leaves scars in your children for lifetimes to go. So, basically this video is just to remind people that, yes, he died, okay? And yes, he was the reason why that we have the Jackson 5. Yes, he was the reason why we have Michael. Yes, he was the reason why we had Janet. But do not, in any way, shape, or form, try to make this man into a saintly person. And don't try to act like he was this great person and he was just pushing his kids hard because he was making superstars out of them, He stole their childhoods away from them, especially Michael's. And it affected them in various ways and turned them into, these things that were very, very hurt. And Michael, till the day he died, tried to find himself a childhood that he couldn't find. And it cost him a lot of, mental health. It cost him a lot in the media. People were saying a lot of different things about Michael during his time on this planet because of the mental state that he was at because of his father. You saw the plastic surgery he got. That was because of his father. And it's just crazy. It's just really crazy. Like, I just feel bad for the Jackson kids because I feel like this is a really hard time for them. Because on the one hand, it's your father. Of course, you feel bad that he just passed away. But at the same time, he was physically and mentally abusive to you. And so how are you going to feel about a person who did all those things to you? So I just want people to remember that this man was not a saint. And you can mourn him, yes, because of the talent that he brought to the world. That is important. But don't try to make him out to be this great guy who is just, really, hard on his kids because he was abusive. And all child abusers should not be celebrated in any way, shape, or form. So this is just my 2 cents on Joe Jackson's passing. I don't like Joe Jackson. I never did. And being a super Michael Jackson stan and just loving the Jacksons in general, I have always felt bad for them. And I send them love during this difficult time. But I will not celebrate your father because he abused you all. And I feel bad because you guys are feeling the ramifications of that for the rest of your lives. But yeah, this is just my 2 cents. So yeah, I'm gonna go back to my vacation. But hope you have a wonderful day. Peace and blessings.